Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to Slideshow Sports. Today I'm going to be filling out my All-Star Ballot for the 2025 MLB All-Star Game in Atlanta, Georgia. Starting off with the first baseman. I think this one is pretty easy. I think there's really two guys in each league that you could give it to. They've listed them here. It's Goldschmidt, Guerrero, and then Alonso and Freeman. And I'm going to give it to Goldschmidt and Alonso, both players from New York, Yankees and Mets, first basemen, both heading to Atlanta for me. Now, second base. This is going to make some people mad. I think the National League here, again, I'm going to have to agree with the general consensus here. I'm going to give it to Ketel Marte. And then, in the American League, yes, you have Jackson Holliday. Yes, you have Gleyber Torres. As much as I hate to do it as a Mariners fan, my pick for All-Star second baseman is Jose Altuve. He has been fantastic this year. Being able to do what he does at his age, it's 275, 12 home runs. I'd like to see those RBI numbers get up maybe a little bit, but tell you what, he's one heck of a ball player. Now for third baseman. Again, I think I'm in the National League. I think, again, it comes down to two guys. Maybe three. I could maybe see Austin Riley getting in there. And actually, I do really think it's between Austin Riley, Max Muncy, and Manny Machado. I think I'm going to have to give it to Machado here. And then in the American League, Alex Bregman's up there. I mean, hitting 300, I'll tell you what. J-Ram, having a fantastic season. Again, I think it's between those two. Really no one else particularly close. Maybe Zach McKinstry, but I'm going to give it to J-Ram here. Now for shortstops. The amount of fantastic shortstops in the American League is ridiculous. You have Bichette. You have Crawford. You have Henderson. You have Pena. And those two aren't even the top two. You got Jacob Wilson and Bobby Witt Jr. Now, is Jacob Wilson hitting 360? Yes, he is. Am I realizing now that he actually has the same amount of RBIs and hits as Bobby Witt Jr.? Sorry, RBIs and home runs as Bobby Witt Jr. Yes. Was I going to vote for Bobby Witt Jr. until I noticed that? Yes, I was. Congratulations, Jacob Wilson. Great argument. And then in the National League, that's Orlando. Top two. Looking around, you got, I think maybe a couple guys you could argue. Ellie De La Cruz. I'll tell you what, he's up there. Actually, he might end up being my pick. 50 RBIs, hitting 260, OPS of 820, plays great defense. Yeah, you know what? Tell you what, give me De La Cruz. Now catcher. Yeah, this one is not even close. There's two guys that are very obviously the two best catchers in baseball. Congratulations to Cal Raleigh and Will Smith. I mean, Will Smith is amazing. And then you also have the American League MVP, in my opinion. Man has 29 home runs, and we're still 2 weeks worth of games. We're 14 games out from the All-Star break, about a month until the All-Star game itself. I wouldn't be surprised if he has 35 by then. Then we get to the outfield. This one, I think, we'll start with the American League. I think there's a couple of very obvious ones here. Aaron Judge, Riley Green, Stephen Kwan. So my starters are Aaron Judge, Stephen Kwan, and you may be thinking it's Riley Green. And this may just be a little bit of my bias, because this guy plays for the team that I root for. I'm going to give it to Julio Rodriguez. Yes, that does mean that I'm not going to give it to Riley Green. I just think that Julio Rodriguez is a better player than Riley Green is. I think it's very close. And actually, you know what? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the numbers between Stephen Kwan and Riley Green. I think I'm actually going to switch those two. I think I'm going to give it to Riley Green over Stephen Kwan, meaning my American League outfield is Green, Judge, and Rodriguez. Then in the National League, going down the list, you got guys like Kyle Tucker, Juan Soto, Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah, pretty obvious. Pete Crow Armstrong. So, Pete Crow Armstrong, yeah, no doubt about that one. Then I'm going to give it to Teoscar Hernandez. And my final pick, this one, I had to think quite a bit about this one. Because it's very close. Tatis is up there, I'll tell you what. And actually, I'll spoil it right now. It was between Kyle Tucker and Fernando Tatis Jr. For me, and I'm going to have to give it to Kyle Tucker. That's a fantastic outfield they got out there in Chicago. Now for DH. And I think that this is another one that I'm going to have to go with the consensus. Obviously, Ohtani. No duh. And then, yes, Ryan O'Hearn, Ben Rice. I said I was going to go consensus, but now I think about it, would it be insane to vote for Brent Rooker? I'm going to give it to Rooker. Yeah, so that's my ballot one more time in the American League. First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. Second base, Jose Altuve. Third base, Jose Ramirez. Shortstop, Jacob Wilson. Catcher, Cal Raleigh. The outfield is Riley Green, Aaron Judge, and Julio Rodriguez. And my designated hitter is Brent Rooker. In the National League, I got Pete Alonso at first, Ketel Marte at second, Manny Machado at third, Ellie De La Cruz at short, Will Smith behind the dish, Pete Crow Armstrong, Teoscar Hernandez, and Kyle Tucker in the outfield. And my DH in the National League is Shohei Ohtani. Well, with that, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for a couple of my picks, but hey, that's the way it is. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Slideshow Sports, and I will see you next time.